Hi my lovely people, welcome back to another fabulous beauty video. In this video I am going to rank and review all my 15 Tom Ford eyeshadow quads. You guys, if you are one of my OG subscribers, you know how much I love Tom Ford eyeshadow quads. I've done so many eyeshadow look tutorials on this channel, especially when I started my channel. I'll put them up here. I'll put some of the pictures up here and then I'll link them up here and down in the description box for you. I absolutely adore Tom Ford eyeshadow quality. The quads, they are absolutely amazing. I would say they are my top. They're in my top 3 for eyeshadow. I absolutely adore Natasha Denona. As you guys know, her eyeshadow palettes are just out of this world. I adore Pat McGrath as well. And then I would say, you know, Tom Ford is right up there. And then I also have other brands that I love, like Charlotte Tilbury and all that. But Tom Ford is definitely in my top 3. I have, like I said, 15 eyeshadow quads that I'm going to review and rank from my least favorite to my top favorite. So if you guys want to see what Tom Ford eyeshadow quads I have and how I rank them and review, hear my thoughts on them, just keep watching. You guys, this was a hard one. This was hard to pick. It was super hard because I have 15 and I love all 15 of them so much. And it was hard to pick my least favorites because I love all of them. Actually, I wouldn't keep them if I didn't love them. You know what I mean? So I had to really, it was like pulling a tooth to decide which one I would pick over which. It was hard. It was hard. So my least favorite out of all 15 Tom Ford eyeshadow quads is this one right here. This one is Tom Ford Virgin Orchid. You know, it's the typical Tom Ford component, of course. And here is the, I'm going to take these out. Here's the color story. This one is the Tom Ford's wet dry formula, you guys, meaning you can use these shadows wet or dry. It is that new kind of formula that he came out with right before his creme formula, which I will get to here in a second. The reason why this is not one of my top favorites is probably the color story, because it's a little bit like pale, you know, like it's pale for my complexion, and also it's very cool toned. So it's not like the most, you know, quad with the most bang, I would say. So this is what they look like swatched. As you can see, they're absolutely stunning. Let me try and swatch these wet as well. Hold on one second. So here it is. This is them swatched wet and dry. So this row here is dry, this is wet. There's not that much of a difference, but when you wet them, you see a little bit more color payoff, and it has this more of like a shine, sort of. So yeah, it's not a huge difference or anything like that. Basically, it's because of the color story. It's not the most powerful color story on my skin tone, that's all. It still shows really well, don't get me wrong. And also, it's not that I don't like this. I adore it, actually. So like I said, my least favorite still is one I love, because I don't buy anything I don't love, you guys, and I don't keep anything I don't like, I don't love. So yeah, this one still is a good, beautiful eyeshadow quad. You can create gorgeous, cool toned, mauvey, plummy looks, silvery, you know, taupey looks with that palette. I love it. It's just that I don't have a whole lot of outfits that it goes with. The undertones of it, not the best for my skin tone. I shouldn't say that, because you will see some other palettes here that are totally cool toned that I absolutely love. It's not even about warm undertones and cool undertones. It's just the colors, you know. I still love cool eyeshadows, cool toned eyeshadows, so don't get me wrong. So the next one takes the number 14th spot. It is the latest Tom Ford eyeshadow quad I've added to my collection. So this one is in this red component. I'll show you here in a minute. It is the Tom Ford Body Heat in special packaging. I believe this comes in also like the regular Tom Ford packaging as well, but this is their new packaging. I got it during the holidays. I want to say I got this during the November Sephora VIB sale. I cannot remember. But anyway, yeah, this is the new components with TF right on top. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I really like the older packaging. I think it's classic. This color really tells you it's Tom Ford, you know what I mean? So I don't know if I like the monogrammed ones here. Anyways, so this is the color story. Let me take these things out. So this is the color story. This is the Body Heat palette. Trust me, now this one is a very also very popular quad. I love it. Don't get me wrong again. I love it. It's just that it's a little bit more on the dull side. I would have loved this same color story a little bit more, you know, kind of brighter and vivid. I think it's a little bit too understated and dull. Like this red could have been a little bit more vivid, maybe not like a screaming bright red, but you know, something with a little bit more, I don't know, oomph to it. So this is the foreshadows swatched. Again, this is a wet dry formula. This quad also the you can see it's the wet dry formula. I actually adore the wet dry formula. You would see some here on the top of my list I absolutely love. It all depends on the colors, you guys, for me. So this is dry and these were swatched wet over here. So as you can see, the wet ones kind of stuck more and it's more opaque compared to the dry side, but you know, not that much of a difference. So that's the color story. As you can tell, it's not the most, you know, vivid color story. It is a little bit more of an understated, mute kind of color story, which is fine, which is what you kind of want, like in a way, when you want something this classy, this high quality, this wearable for anything, like to anything. You can wear them to work, to an absolute, you know, formal function. You can wear it to a party. You can wear it every day. That's the beauty about these quads. It's just the way they are. Yeah, you're okay with that muted sort of understated look, but it's just the color story is a little bit more dull than some of my other ones. I have other ones that are, you know, that same formula, that are still understated and not like in your face, but still has a more vivid color story, if you know what I mean. The next one on the list, number 13, this one is one of Tom Ford's latest formulas that he released. This is the Creme formula. This was supposed to be like eyeshadows that are like cream eyeshadows. But I will talk to you here in a minute about that. So this is what it looks like. Let me take these out. So this is the color story. So Tom Ford released 3 of these. All 3 of them were creme, you know, a formula, which is absolutely stunning. It actually looks like wet leather. Like it looks like leather, like shiny leather. I don't know how to describe it, you guys. It's really gorgeous. It's like such a look, you know. I mean, it doesn't look like much here in the pan, I'm telling you though. Like there's something like a finish about this, you know, like that Natasha Denona that one shadow formula, what do you call it, cream to powder one, remember that one? So that's kind of like this, you know, this formula right here. It's kind of like a cream to powder type formula, and when you apply it on the lid, it looks kind of like almost like leather, like wet leather, you know. It has this slight wet look about it, and it acts like a I don't know, like you've covered your eyelids with leather. It's kind of difficult to explain. You have to get your hands on it yourself. So this is what the quad looks like swatched. You can't really tell on the back of my hands. It only has that effect on the eyelids, I'm telling you. And this shade right here is like my perfect, almost like transition shade, because it's like almost like close to my skin tone there. Yeah, so that's actually the reason why it's down on the list, because a couple of the 4 shades, they're too light for me, as in they almost kind of blend into my skin tone, which is why I moved it down the list. I had all 3 of them, I reviewed them, but I gave one of them away to one of my friends. That was like not one I loved as much as the other 2. I think it was like the Tiger Eyes or something it was called. I can't remember. But yeah, so that one is no longer with me, but I have the other 2 still. So yeah, this is down the list only because, again, of the tones rather than the quality or anything like that. So next up on the list, this is number what, 12 now? Yeah, so this one is the other creme eyeshadow palette that I have. This one is Rose Topaz. This one is actually really, really good. I don't know why it's so like towards the bottom of the list, probably because all 15 of them I absolutely adore. Like, this was hard, you guys. You know, when you love every one of them, it's really hard to rank. It's like when you love like all the candies in a candy store and somebody asking you to pick just one, you know. It's not easy, but anyway, this one is Rose Topaz, as I said. This one is actually my absolute favorite out of the 3 new creme formula releases. Oh my god, this one again doesn't look like much in the pan. My god, you guys, on the eyes, oh, so good. I absolutely adore this one. It's beautiful on the eyelids. This one right here, this top coat shade that Tom Ford usually puts in here, and in this one it's not exactly the usual top coat shade, so it's like kind of taking his top coat shade that I'm calling it top coat shade. He doesn't call it top coat shade, you know, like the special shade you get in his quad. Sometimes it's like taking that shade and making it creamier, you know. So that's what they did in this palette, made it creamier. This one all over the lid is a look, it's a vibe, you guys. So this is what it looks like. Do you see that top one? Isn't that stunning? Imagine that all over the eyelid. It's like this gorgeous silvery taupe that just looks wet. You know, when you put it on, it looks like wet. It makes your eyelids look humongous. It's absolutely gorgeous. This is such a classy eyeshadow palette that you can, like, you know, create a very sultry yet very classy look, which is hard to achieve. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. So yeah, this is why I love Tom Ford eyeshadow quads, because that's how they are. They're sexy, but they're classy sexy. Yeah, so the next one up the list is at number 11. We're on number 11, I believe. Yeah, so this one right here is Titanium Smoke. Now this one, you guys, is absolutely gorgeous too. I've worn it a few times, and now this is one of the quads that have that classic Tom Ford, what I call top coat looking, gorgeous, ultra shiny, ultra eye-catching shadows. These are just stunning, you guys. This OG Tom Ford quads had these top coat ones. This is what I'm calling it. I don't think that's what they're called, but these special shades for the eyelid all over eye color. Oh my gosh, they're so beautiful. This one is so pigmented, this palette. I mean, just take a look at that black. Wow, wow. And look at that top coat shade right there on the top. Oh my gosh. The Tom Ford top coat shades, as I'm calling them, they are like these sparkly shades that are not your typical glitter type shimmery eyeshadows at all. They are not chunky, they are not flaky, they are not, you know, glittery, but they're more like they stick together. It's like one swift application and it just lays there perfectly, no real fallout, and it looks like beautiful shimmery diamondy, yet with like this wet look eyeshadows. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like impossible. So this is different from the wet dry formula. So this is the wet dry formula, and this is like the OG eyeshadow quads by Tom Ford with that beautiful top coat type shade right there. So yeah, this is like more of a newer formulation, this wet dry formula, and that's not the only formula Tom Ford does anymore. He has a few different finishes. So next up the list, number 10. On the number 10 spot, we have here the Pretty Baby. Okay, so this one is really beautiful. This is again one of Tom Ford's original eyeshadow formulas right here. This has the most beautiful top coat shade. Again, I keep referring to it as a top coat shade because it looks like a top coat. It's absolutely stunning. Do you see this? This is like this sort of lilac-y duochrome, like it has like a duochrome type shift there. I don't know if you can see that, like from pink to lilac and then to silver, something like that. And do you see that gorgeousness, like that wetness that it has, his top coats? I absolutely adore these eyeshadow quads. When I first got into Tom Ford, or when I first saw Tom Ford or started to notice Tom Ford palettes, I was like, they look meh, you know, like, because when you look at them in the palette, they don't really look like much. Oh my god, it's not about that, it's in the application, it's what they look like on the eyelids, you guys, and the quality and the formulas. That's what they are all about. I mean, look at those. This gives me the most beautiful feminine, pretty, lilac-y, rosy kind of eye looks, mauvey, you know, eye looks that I make with this palette. It's one of my top favorites. It's also one of my top favorites. Well, now after 10, everything is going to be my top favorites because it has that special top coat type shade that I absolutely love. I really hope he continues to make the original type of eyeshadow quads too. So yeah, that's one of my favorite ones. Pretty Baby on number 10 spot. So the next one up the list, number 9, on the number 9 spot, we have Last Dance. This one, you guys, is so gorgeous. This is such a beautiful teal, peacocky type of quad. Oh my god, look at that top coat shade. Oh my gosh, do you see that? That's just stunning, you guys. This one I wear on very special occasions because it's very like glitzy and glamorous. It's not really for your everyday type of looks, you know, so it doesn't get used too often, but when I do use it, I love what I get out of this palette, the looks that I create out of this palette. I absolutely adore this palette, and I am so sad that it has been discontinued, and I don't know why. I love it, you guys. That shadow right there, the whole palette is worth it just for that. So yeah, this one right here, I believe is like a satin finish. This one, yeah, the matte shadows too by Tom Ford. I think the other three are actually velvety matte shadows. That's the thing, his matte formula is very velvety, like it's very silky, like I don't know how to describe it. They're so good. They look amazing on the eyes. You guys, I like to call Tom Ford eyeshadow quads foundation for the eyes because that's what they are. They make your eyelids look like they don't have any wrinkles. They don't have any folds. They don't have any of those things. Like if you have hooded eyes, you would love Tom Ford quads because they don't emphasize any lines on your eyelids. Next up, number 8 spot on the list is this baby right here. This one is metallic denim. This one again is a special occasion type of palette. This is also Tom Ford's wet dry formula, but although this is the wet dry formula, this one right here, this is quite sparkly, but it's in that wet dry formula, you know. So let me swatch these for you. So this is what it looks like. You guys, that one right there, that shade right there, this one, the last, this black glittery, so kind of shimmery shade, you can get the most sexy, smoky, diamondy, black smoke eyes. Whoo, so good. So in the number 7 spot, I have here Tom Ford's First Frost palette. This one has a beautiful sort of kind of, you know, nudish shades. They're very cool toned with this beautiful pink and white. They are just very beautiful, you guys. So let me swatch them dry first, and then I will swatch them wet as well. Again, that wet dry formula that looks like, I don't know, like silk on your eyelids, I would say. So that's dry. So let me swatch them wet for you now. So here they are wet. So you can see the payoff is even better wet, but the dry is not bad either. Either way, they're very opaque, as I have been telling you. This formula is very special. I love this formula as well from Tom Ford. It actually looks like chiffon, like silk on your eyelids. I don't know, it's hard to describe. It's great for like mature eyelids too. It does not emphasize like any lines on your eyelids, and this goes for all of Tom Ford formulas, I would say. Like the new one, like the newest cream to powder, the cream shadows, the creme, they are the best, like for mature eyelids, I would say, like really kind of like foundation for your eyelids. So yeah, this is at number 7 spot, Tom Ford First Frost from the Soleil Neige collection. Next one is also from the Soleil Neige collection in this beautiful white component. So this one is called Soleil Neige, actually, from the Soleil Neige collection. Again, beautiful white compact here. This one has like this sort of steel blue, charcoal gray, taupe white color story, which I absolutely love. This I find to be amazing for like really nice formal occasions to wear this. This goes from, by the way, formal to glamorous, day to night. Really, all these Tom Ford quads. That's the special thing about his shadows, is that they can be as glamorous or as wearable as you want, because they're classy. So even when they're glamorous, they're very classy. So you can wear them to a formal occasion and as well as to a glamorous occasion. So now look at how gorgeous that is. I love to use this palette to create kind of like, anytime I wear black and white, I love to use this palette, especially like daytime occasions. This is a palette that's great for like winter and spring and summer, really. The only time I don't wear this is really during fall, because the color scheme doesn't go with fall. So I swatched them wet over here on this side, and that's dry. Again, color payoff is great no matter they're wet or dry. Wet, you get a little bit more kind of concentrated look, if that makes sense to say. Yeah, love this one when I wear black and white, or white, totally white especially, or black alone. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous palette. Absolutely love it. Very easy, by the way, to use, and it's like a 1, 2, 3 done, like very fast. You can work with them very fast. So that's number 6. That one was number 6 spot, and this one is number 5. Number 5th spot, this one is called Soleil et Lune. So this one is my favorite out of the Soleil Neige white ones that I just talked about. This has this gorgeous mint shade to die for, you guys. This is why I wanted this palette the most. This is like the only palette in my collection that works with really beautiful like mint outfits that I have. I have several, and this is like my go-to palette when I wear them. Beautiful, soft, daytime, you know, wear palette. Like I said, I like to wear it with my mint dresses. I have a gorgeous like long mint dress that I love to wear this with, and some mint dresses that I love to wear this with. So here it is, swatched wet over here and dry again. That beautiful mint shade is to die for. This is the only palette in my collection that has the most beautiful, ethereal, gorgeous, delicate mint shade. This shade of mint I can't find anywhere really, especially in this kind of formula, which is very delicate and gorgeous, very classy. Yeah, so in number 5, fifth spot, Soleil et Lune. This is actually number 4. It's actually number 3 because 2 of them is the same. You will see what I'm talking about when I show it to you. This one is Insulin Rose. This is one of the newest Tom Ford quads that came out. This one, you guys, is in this spot, number 4th spot, only because this is so wearable. This is so wearable. I love this top coat shade. I mean, take a look at that. I get a lot of use out of this palette, and I just recently bought it. So yeah, for how short of time I've worn it quite a bit. Yeah, this one, number 4th spot, this is Insolent Rose. So in number 3 spot, I have an all matte palette from Tom Ford. This one is super special to me. I think it's a super special palette. This one replaced the Coco Mirage palette, which I don't think they should have done that, you guys. They should have kept Coco Mirage and introduced this one. This one is, of course, Mink Mirage. This is all matte. It may look plain to you, but my gosh, the looks you can get out of this palette, such sexy, foxy eye looks you can get out of this palette. Winged eye looks, foxy eye looks. So good with this palette. I've, again, done a review of this palette and a gorgeous foxy eye look with this. I will link that tutorial up here and down in the description box. Check that out. That's how you get an eye look with this. When you see that, you will understand why I'm ranking this high. It gives you the most sexy, you know, foxy eye looks. Unbelievable quality. I mean, this black, let me show you the black. You guys, it's like butter. It's like silk. So good. If you could feel these shadows through the camera, you guys, they feel so buttery. Look at that black. How gorgeous and dark and smoky is that black. And that chocolate color right here, it's so amazing to like blend the black in, like for that gradient foxy eye look. So this is like the perfect, quintessential, perfect palette to get a sexy foxy eye look. Check that tutorial out. I do that look so much. I mean, you can see how much of a dent I put into this palette. I use this a lot, you guys. This gets a ton of use. Yeah, it is more of a cool tone color story, more neutral cool, not warm, but it still works for skin tones like mine, darker skin. still works. It doesn't make you look ashy. Check out that video. You will see I don't look ashy. It looks gorgeous. Love it. Should have kept the Cocoa Mirage palette. However, by the way, that had a very kind of terracotta kind of colors. I don't know how to describe it. It was kind of like a dark reddish terracotta that had, which would have been amazing to have. They discontinued it for whatever the crazy reason, like brands do. Anyway, this one is Mink Mirage. That one was Cocoa Mirage. Number 3 spot, really number 2. Because as you can see, da 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 da, the next one, really number 1, because it's 2 of the same palette. So number 2 and number 1, same palette. So this here is my favorite Tom Ford palette, you guys. So I have 2 of them because I'm crazy and I wanted backups of it, okay? So I have the one that I've used and abused, and I have a backup of it, which I also accidentally used one day, by the way. Anyway, so I will show you how special this palette is. I was wearing this palette just now. The one where I'm wearing like a butterfly dress, you know, I'll link it up here and down in the description box. I'm wearing this palette on my eyelids, you guys. This blue right here is so dreamy. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is so freaking dreamy. Oh, I don't know how even to explain it to you. So beautiful. This is like a perfect color story, by the way, to get this beautiful lilac blue toned eye looks with. It makes you look like a fairy, makes you look like a goddess, make you look kind of like a, I don't know, like a celestial being, you guys. This is what this palette does. So this blue shade looks beautiful. I like to put that all over my eyelid, and I like to put the, of course, the lilac in the crease as like a transition. And this one right here is the inner corner shade, which I bring towards the middle a little bit. And then this one, of course, to define the outer corner. Absolutely adore this palette. I couldn't be without it. I think, however, this has been discontinued. As you can see, this is a kind of like a limited edition palette. I don't know when this was introduced, but anyway, this is no longer available, unfortunately. I love by the way, the mirrored component, which, by the way, my favorite out of all the colors of the Tom Ford quads. The only problem is you get a lot of handprints, as you can see. So yeah, so number 2 and number 1 are the same palette, and it is my favorite because it makes me feel like a fairy, a celestial being, a goddess. It makes me look gorgeous. Every time I wear this palette, you guys ask me, what am I wearing on my eyes? And always compliment my eye look. You always say I look gorgeous that day. My eye looks gorgeous. I get compliments every time down in the comment section when I wear this palette, which was the case my last video. I was wearing this in with the butterfly dress, which is one of my favorite dresses, by the way, to wear with this palette. Yeah, you guys, so that's it. Those are my gorgeous 15 Tom Ford quads, shadow quads, ranked in from least favorite to most favorite. I told you guys it's hard to pick. All 15 are palettes that I love. If I didn't love them, I wouldn't have them. So ranking 15 palettes that you already absolutely love from the least favorite to most favorite was a difficult task, you guys, because I love them all. One of the most, you know, high quality, beautiful shadow formulas, period, bar none. Love Natasha Denona, love Tom Ford. I love Pat McGrath too. I love also Charlotte Tilbury, but I gotta tell you, Tom Ford is top notch, top notch. So that is how I rated my gorgeous Tom Ford quads. I have 15 of them. What do you guys think? Chime down in the comment section. Let me know if you like the way I ranked them. What do you think of these quads? Do you have some of them? Do you plan to buy some Tom Ford quads? Are you new to Tom Ford? Are you thinking about buying Tom Ford? What do you think about what I said? I really, really highly recommend them, you guys. At first, I didn't know what the big deal was about Tom Ford quads. Like, just couldn't get it, because when you look at them online, especially, they look kind of plain, you know, like to the just looking at them. But when you really put them on your eyelids, you really realize, wow, what a difference! Like, what a difference these quads make, this formula makes, these formulas make. Really, you can tell the difference in the quality, you guys. Absolutely makes a world of difference on your eyelids, the way you look, your makeup looks. So yeah, chime down in the comment section. Let me know if you're interested in any of these palettes. Do you have them? Are you new to Tom Ford, or are you a Tom Ford connoisseur like me? I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell next to it so you will never miss any of my videos. For more beauty videos like this, make sure to do that. And I do a lot of fragrance content, as I mentioned, and fashion and lifestyle as well. So if any of those is your type of thing to watch, then yes, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, where I post pretty much everything before I even talk about them here on YouTube. I will see you guys in my next video.